everyone and welcome to another live stream. 8 hours since live stream. Yes, it has been 8 hours since live stream. That's because I'm actually running on such a caffeine high. I haven't drunk coffee in days. Well, I haven't drunk coffee seriously in days. As in, like, half a cup of coffee a day. The rest I was just throwing up because I couldn't finish it and the milk got bad. And so I just get these days when I'm not feeling great, and because of that I don't drink coffee, just not, to not waste the effect of caffeine. And then because of that I feel even worse, and because of that I don't feel coffee, and so on and so forth. But today I drank some, and oh my goodness, I am running on such a massive, hold on, there we go, such a massive caffeine high precisely because of this. I'm fixing the microphone. So basically, I haven't drunk coffee in days, and now I'm my fourth cup. Oh, it feels great. Oh, let's do this. Oh, I finished the script for the video. There we go. It's finished. 11 pages. The energy video had 14, if I remember correctly. Hi, Venon, by the way. Hi, welcome. If I don't remember correctly, energy video had 14, which would mean, man, that sounds like an addiction. If it was an addiction, then I've already went through coffee addiction. Not coffee, caffeine. I already went through caffeine addiction, and it feels different. I can tell you from experience. 26 from 14 pages, so this one will be around like 15 minutes at least. That's great. Okay, well, let's record then. No, that's a different thing. Oh wait, I have to open up Premiere. That's right. Almost forgot. Okay, my eyes are a bit, well, worse for wear, I should say. But my spirit remains unbroken. It feels different. I mean, yeah, listen, when I was addicted to coffee, I was a very light addiction, I should mention. But when I detoxed myself, I had such a headache. I don't know if it was a placebo effect, but it was annoying. It lasted for 2 or 3 days. It was really annoying. But now I just didn't drink coffee for a day, and I didn't even feel any different. So this is not an addiction. Addiction is much more severe. This is a dependency, but not like a, But I'm fine with that. I'm fine with being dependent. There we go. I'm fine with being dependent on something that's cheap, easily accessible, and safe. That's the video so far. Let's do physics in 7 dimensions. Why is this so off? 7. So right here I say in. That's a clear cut. Let's in. That's where it should up here. There we go. 7 dimensions. Let's do physics in 7 dimensions. This is dependency. Hey, it depends. I'm fine with dependency. If I'm dependent on caffeine to walk, I feel like that's a pretty actually normal thing. Really. Okay, now last keyframe. Add frame hold. Really. Right at the beginning of the video. So starting with... And right here we can do... Oh yeah, I was supposed to record, not import stuff. Oh, but also we should make another animation. That'll be easier. With force, which is a measure of... How hard you basically push. So right here we'll just add an arrow. It will be simple as it could be. Taskbar behaviors, open and close. There we go. Quick refresh to the taskbar. And blend the 4.1. Coffee is water for make it. What do you mean? I don't like it. I don't like it when people just assume stuff about me like that. Like, yeah, people just assume that I overdrink coffee and I don't drink water. That's so rude. Basing that only on feels alone. 4 cups of coffee is such a like a for me this is the most coffee I've drunk in 2 weeks. I wonder how your stomach is doing with that much coffee. That's not a lot of coffee at all. 4 cups of coffee is the most coffee 4 cups of coffee in a single day. That's the most coffee I've drunk in weeks. And 4 cups in a day is not a lot of coffee. It's really not. Tefta drinks 2 pots a day. 1 pot is like 3 or 4 cups. So that's 6 to 8 cups a day. That's how much Tefta drinks. That's still like, you know, normal. Coffee is not alcohol. Caffeine is not alcohol. Coffee isn't beer. Alright, now give me cinder. And you cut in half, you merged, you extrude it in the middle, select you. This looks like an awful arrow. This is an absolutely bloody awful arrow. And that's because we need to select this. There we go. And then deselect the middle and then make it smaller a bit more and then make this smaller and then no, just make the whole thing larger. There we go. There we go. Now 90 degrees. And now the camera's facing right here, but where's the cube? Is this the cube? This don't look like this is the cube. Oh my goodness, that's the same shade. Oh, that's splendid in it. Oh, that's so great. That's brilliant. Oh, how glad am I. Negative? Oh, yeah, I actually wasn't expecting that to be correct the first try. When to a coffee, you sound like you're explaining an addiction. I know. I always sound like I'm in denial. But I'm not in denial. I'm not in denial. That's my favorite bit. Okay, push, right. With this one, I would actually like to save up some time. And the best way to save up time with this is just to render the whole animation with just 2 frames. The first one, what's force like? Okay, mass is red. Acceleration is yellow, but that's only because time is green. And green plus what makes yellow? Well, green plus orange makes yellow. Orange is position. Green is time, which means that's okay. Which means yellow plus this force should also be orange. Like position. That's boring. Huh. How about fiery yellow? How does this look? Oh, it's gonna take ages to render because of the floor, of course. I almost forgot. Don't make it, it was just funny. Oh, don't apologize. I understand a bit. It is good. You have to realize, I'm not. Whenever I get upset on stream, I can't even remember the last time I was actually angry on stream. I don't remember any time I was actually angry on stream. If I get angry on stream, it's a safe bet to assume it's a bit. Those people who can't live a day without coffee, you sound like a 6 on that coffee scale. I mean, even caffeine addictions. The problem for me, the caffeine addiction I have. The reason why it was a problem is because I just kept going up. Like, you know, being addicted to 3 cups of coffee a day was not, you know, the best thing. It's also not all that bad. You have different, when it goes to narcotics, for example, you have different ways they can ruin your life. So they can shorten your lifespan, for example. They can destroy your social life completely, which sounds like a minor thing, but it's pretty major. They can, and they, you know, do all sorts of nasty things. Coffee is, to say that coffee is mild is to say nothing. Coffee is nothing in comparison. The problem with my addiction was that I just kept accelerating. And it first started with, I actually was taking caffeine pills. Yeah, I used to take precisely, caffeine pills, yeah. And like 1 gram of caffeine. That's where I am now. That's a lot of caffeine. It just wasn't working, it wasn't efficient. Delish. Alright. Oh, and with a lot of milk. Because I want to be I want my bones to be big and strong. I'm just feeding the skeleton. Okay. These are the frames. Them's the frames. So then we pop in the first one. You're basically pushing on. And then what we're gonna do with this one is we're going to cross dissolve. You basically push. No, not cross dissolve. How do I delete this? There we go. Hold on, let me check one more thing. Right. I have a good memory, so the couples are stuck in my mind. You do remember a lot of things about me. That's creepy at this point. This, there we go. Okay, effect controls, yes, precisely. Sick. Center, make it smaller. Because we want it to pushing. Well, no, that's way too small. If I had a nickel for every single time I had that before, am I right? Okay. Center. Center. Pushing on something. But no, not snappy enough. Pushing on something. But and then right here it will just slowly fade back to this. How can we quantify this? Quantify something. But for our purposes, we need to quantify the bit. So basically pushing on something. But for our purposes, we need to quantify the bit. So how would we quantify force? Well, when you have a cube like that. Actually, you know, now that we read that chapter from relativity, this makes so much sense. Because why, for example, why mass is so tied to force is because of the inertial mass. Makes a lot of sense, actually. Well, when you have a cube like this with a mass of 1, a cube like. Okay, this can go down. I should never walk from a position. I can predict what people would say. Why would that make you wait? What? Why? Wait, what do you mean? I should never walk from an organization. I can somehow predict what people would say. Why should that stop you from working for an organization? Well, when you have a and also define what do you mean working for an organization. It sounds like an ominous name for like a powerful entity that's just controlling the world from the shadows. 16.5. Well, when you have a cube like this with a mass of 1 kilo. 18. 25, 22, 47, 47 plus 60. 107. There's no save. And delete all of this. P, this, no. There we go, and now what we need is... I really like this texture, I like it a lot. Now what we're gonna need is geometry nodes. Nothing, I'm bored, I'm just saying random stuff. Fair enough, that's fair. String to curves, then value to string. This is gonna be a whole chain, isn't it? Value to string, string to curve, fill curve with n-gons, then extrude, mesh, then join geometry, and then join geometry right here. Then what we're gonna need is we're gonna need a material. So set material to separate spots because 2 different materials. This one will be 7, this one will be 5. And now we just need to make it happen, pun intended. Transform geometry like this and then value. Music! Oh my goodness. I keep forgetting. There we go. Is it loud? Doesn't feel like it. Okay. Could be a bit louder. There we go. And so now we can increase the size of our object and also transform geometry. Take this, input it right here, good enough. Then rotate this. Oh, rotation now has a different color. It would make sense if the angles are saved differently, which would make sense. No, it wouldn't. It's still a vector. Because that's why they're compatible. What was I doing? Center. Okay. Now this material, we want it to shine with red because it's mass. There we go. Well, when you have a cube like this with a mass of 1 kilogram and going forward at 1 meter. Oh, there's gonna be a quick one. Well, when you have a cube like this with a mass of 1. Okay, actually 8? No, 25 plus 60, 85, I think would be better. There we go. And I could actually give it the same material as the floor. I wonder what that do. What would that look like? Off. Is there an unwrap option? Oh my goodness, there is. How sweet. Oh, that's how that's mapping. Wait, what? Mapping? I'm sorry. UV unwrap. I mean, vector makes sense. Mickey seems to be progressing quite fast. Also, I'm sorry if you're acting more cringe than usual. I would say you're actually less cringe than usual. But I mean, for the past couple of days, you've been acting really solid. Whatever the opposite of cringe would be. No, I'm wasting time just thinking about this. It would be quicker to just look it up. Blender unwrap geometry nodes. Yes, unwrap node. What's the intended usage? No, output. Which colons like face? Not quite. I know how unwrap works. I just am curious in. Where are you plugging the UV unwrap? I am so curious. So unbelievably curious. Why did you cut the picture there? No, just go a bit further. No object. Store named. Oh, so you're doing it this way, aren't you? Also, what would that kind of unwrap? What good would it do? I guess I could give it some material and then just change it up. Also, wait, is that even wrong? Or it should be actually... Because I rescaled it right here, not the transform geometry node, so it should actually have... oh my goodness, it's gonna take hours to load. This right here is an 8K graphic at work. Nah, it's broken, damn it. Oh, it's way beyond broken. Oh, it's way beyond broken. Why is this broken? Okay, so we have the unwrap. Right here we have the material. Replace index selection set measures and material. Index not what I texture, maybe? No, there's just different textures. No. Index switch, menu switch, no. Kind of missing 2007 era footage. 2004 era footage is my favorite. I could still name an attribute. But at this point, might as well just create its own material, actually. Switch this to 8 and then just fix it up. You know what? The lines on the sides will stay there simply because I don't care enough to fix it. It's pointless. I'm wasting time which I could be spending making stuff like this. I actually wonder, should I give it... Nope, smart, you did nothing. Unwrap. Failed. This one seems to also be failing. Aren't you curious? Aren't you just really curious? Let me guess. I've guessed correctly. What if I give this 9? Because you gotta get them hooked. Yeah, it's retention, something like that. I don't remember. There was a technical term for it. I just didn't care. Okay, right now we can rescale this up or down. Oh my goodness, it's doing nothing. Do you just not have generators? Oh, you suck so much. Fine there. Now we can just parent these, take this one, or rather take this one, rotate it, bring it under the cube, and then what we're gonna do is we're going to start with this one gone. So we're gonna delete the cylinder. We need smart was precisely. We're going to. I don't care what email the solve date. Parent camera to the cube. Have the cube. have it drop down to this level. It's gonna be visible. I really hope it won't. It will be visible. It is visible. Damn it! Okay, then this I'll stay there. I could do it the professional way. Well, not this. This is easy. I'll have to do it this professional way. Not elastic. That's wrong. Bounce. How does it look? Five, right. Which number's a bit closer to the cube? You mean the blue cube or you mean the metallic cube? Because I don't want it to stick out. That's because when we animate them, I really like the look of animated 3D numbers. The 2D seems a bit cheap. It seems like the obvious thing. But to be fair, that is like a double-edged sword, where I use Blender. And then just because Blender has a lot of tools, I want to use those tools even if it doesn't fit. Okay, now it's time to record the entire video. Hell yeah! Fuck. What? 1 meters per second. Sick. So basically, for each test 1 to 3. Test 1 to 3. Okay, sweet. So this, and there we go. So basically, for each Newton we apply, the velocity is changing by 1 per second for each 1 kilogram. Or in other words, the force is equal to mass times acceleration. There, but still one thing we're missing, and that's the direction, because even though our cube is traveling at 1 meter per second right now, what if we apply the force right here? Well, now it's traveling at a square root of 2 meters per second in this direction? What? Square root of 2? Why? If we take 1 Newton of force and add another Newton of force, we get the square root of 2? And then music intro to cue the epic Avengers assemble music. Okay. Okay, so let's start simple, with force in 1 dimension. What would that mean? Well, we'd have a dot now, and this dot, well, we'd have a dot. Now for this dot we should specify some quantities, like its mass for example. We can set it to 1 for now, for the sake of simplicity. Then another thing would be its position. What position would basically mean in this case is just position. So set position to 5, the dot moves right here. Set it to -3 and goes right here. It's simple. Next we have simulation time. So when we start the simulation, as it goes on, we just add 1 to the time each second. That's how time works. Now that's for the basic quantities. Next we can add velocity. What does velocity mean? Well, it means that for each second that passes, we add the velocity to the position. So we set the velocity to 0.5 and then we add a 0.5 to position each second, like this. Next we'd have acceleration. What acceleration would mean is the same thing as velocity, except for velocity. So instead of adding to position, we add it to velocity, like this. Now we got all the rules, we can talk about force, with the equation of F is equal to ma. Now this equation is pretty simple at this point. What basically means is that in our simulation, if we apply a force of 2 newtons, for example, then this has to be equal. And since force isn't really affecting the mass, we can just move it on the other side and there. Now, as long as we're applying force, we can calculate the acceleration of our cube. So let's go over this again, because there is a lot of numbers on the screen right now. First of all, we have the basic ones, so the mass. Mass, we just set as the mass of our dot, it locks and is unchangeable. Then we have the position. The more to the right, the higher the position. The more to the left, the lower the position. Simple. After that, there is time. Time just slowly increases as our animation goes by, it only goes up. It's time. Then we have velocity. So velocity just means change in position over time. So if it's 2, we change our position by 2 meters per 1 second. So we add 2 to the position over a second, each second. Next we have acceleration, which is the same exact thing, except for velocity. And then force is just following this equation, so modifies our acceleration accordingly. Now that we have a full force classical model of physics, we can move on to force in 2 dimensions. Using the same thing, except in 2 dimensions. So imagine that we have a circle and we push it in this direction with this force being applied over 1 second. Where will it end up after 2 seconds? Well, that's a solid question. How do we calculate that? Well, think about it this way. Let's break the circle down into 2 one-dimensional dots. Now this one only going up and down, and this one only going left and right. Let's start the up and down. The up and down is getting pushed with 2 newtons, which means that this is what the simulation looks like. Simple enough. Right here we can see the same thing for left and right. So how could this help us get the full movement? Well, just take the up and down coordinate of the first circle and combine it with the left-right coordinate of the second circle. In this case, we'd refer to these as x and y. Hold on, combine? What does that mean? Like, should we add them? Should we multiply them? Should we tetrate them? Well, it means just combine next to each other, like this. That's it. That's its position in 2 dimensions. And now we don't even have to keep all of those separate. We can actually merge all of them into a vector. That's what these are, vectors. In this case, 2-dimensional vector, since they represent 2 numbers. But how would we expand it to something like August Fish on my stream, the Mothman themselves. Hi, welcome, hi there. How you doing? Just walking. I think he's going insane. You're going insane! Sorry. I'm fine. I'm going insane. Busy man. I'm not busy. What do you mean? I'm not busy. I'm just okay. 15 frames. How long is it taking each frame, by the way? 30 seconds. Sweet. That's really quick, actually. Good. I'm not busy. What do you mean? A sip of coffee would love it. How are things going? Fish, by the way. How you doing? Anything new? Oh, I can't wait till we get to the 5 more minutes tops stage of this video. 5:30, okay, good. 5:30, around 2 minutes of the garbage. And on which page we are? Third page, which would mean a minute per page so far, 11 minutes, not a lot. Working on the game, working on music, and thinking about Halloween. What are you thinking for Halloween? Are you thinking for the thing? As usual, that is fair. Well, I can relate to the walking part. Okay, I might have added a bit too much milk to this cup. Where did I leave? Oh, yeah, 3rd dimension, sick. Only 2 more to go, and then the entire fucking 9 more pages. Hi the Golden Craft, welcome to livestream, hi. Hi the Crafting Banks, oh my, hold on, I just started this, yeah. Hi the Crafting Banks, wow, everyone's joining in, dude, I love your stuff, don't burn yourself out, you are amazing, keep going. I'm getting mixed messages from that one. I mean, I won't burn myself out. I hope so. Listen, I'm only gonna burn myself out if I'm wrong. And I'm never wrong, actually. I'm always right. It's a curse more than a blessing. Walk, walk, walk is time and time is gold. Precisely. I don't know what that is. Precisely. Hi there, how are you, by the way? Craft, well, I'm really well. I'm over caffeinated at the moment. Haven't slept yet. I haven't, because well, those two are kind of linked together. I'm over caffeinated and haven't slept. I'm pulling an all-nighter, and so I just worked on some other videos before I started live stream, and also in the meantime fully scripted this video. So it wasn't that much. I just finished up the cleanup and the revision chapter. And I think what the models and why I slightly different. I think these two I just scripted off stream, and now we're recording the entire video, because when we record the entire video, we can do a basic edit of the entire video. Once we have the basic edit of the entire video, we can start adding the music and sound effects to the video, and at the same time we can make the 3D animations. For this one, we also need animations and some other animations, but those other animations will be pretty minor. Main thing will be the animations. For animations, we'll have to create a whole system of semi-simulating thing. You'll see that's the topic for the next video making a stream. And once we have all of that, we can just put all of the animations together, make a full edit, then recheck everything, make the full edit, and done, finished, and then I can go to sleep. I'm in a depression moment when the video was really bad and you worked really hard for it. Happy, that's every single one of them. For every single one of them, I work really hard, and then it ends up really bad. Okay, so yeah, that's why we're recording right now, in case my explanation wasn't clear. TLDR, we're recording the script for a video, to make a video, to you get it. 3 dimensions, so a ball with a force acting on it. Hold on, let's try that again. 3 dimensions, so a ball with a force like this acting on it. What now? 3 numbers? Yes, 3 numbers. You can see all simulations for all 3 of them. Now, that is one way to think about them, but there is a way we end up with a lot, and I mean a lot of numbers, so isn't there like a way to simplify it? And the answer is yes. Think about this. This scenario might be in 3 dimensions, but what if we do this and move the camera? Now, it sure seems like a single dimension. So we can note down all of these as a single value, but there's a problem. All of these values just lie on random axes, this axis. All of these single values just lie on the random axis, this axis. So how do we describe this axis using our 3 dimensions? Well, we can do it with a direction vector. So think about it this way. We have our basis vectors, so our red vector equal to 1, blue vector equal to 1, and green vector equal to 1. Fuck, I'm really messing this up. Then what we do is we multiply them. So take the red one, for example, and buckle up, because this might be a bit of a bumpy ride. This red arrow will now have its own vector. So a vector describing its position on the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. Then we move on to the y-axis with its corresponding vector, the green one. The x-axis vector, y-axis vector, and z-axis vector. And then we repeat the same process for z, so the blue one. X-axis, y-axis, z-axis, there. Exactly, every video was making you more depressed. I don't know if I'm really sleeping right now. What do you mean depressed? Do I sound depressed? Am I giving off the wrong vibe? You always script your videos, or are any of them freestyle? I used to do all of them completely freestyle, actually. Well, it's actually hard to answer, because if you've seen my scripting process for videos, you will realize that my scripting process is really freestyle. All of this is written on the first try with no revisions. And you sound like a snake oil salesman in your videos, you talk really fast. I'm not a snake oil salesman. What makes you say that? By the way, you should subscribe to my Patreon. I'm just saying. Should I slow down? Am I really talking too fast? I mean, I can, now would be the time to slow down, I suppose. Good to know. I've heard from a lot of people that they can't understand me, but that's mainly because of the accent, right? And also someone was complaining about my mask, which once, I get it. I'm not making it easy for anyone. Boy, if he's really brought in everyone. The entire first portion of the live stream was just me and Sleepy. You don't have an accent, make it. Or I'm a moron. I have an accent, it's just that it's a mess. It's an European accent. European accent is basically what happens when you have someone who wants to get rid of their accent, but they end up just mixing and matching a lot of them together. Basically, I just can't decide. I'm just too many options. Can't pick one. Now, I know that a lot has happened, but what we achieved is pretty cool. If we add all of our results like this, we end up with this new vector, the directions vector. And now if we take any, and I mean any positional variable we have here, so position, velocity, acceleration, and so on, we just take them and multiply it by our direction, there. Now we can walk with it like it's in a single dimension, except in 3 dimensions. Cool. But here we achieved much, and I mean much more than this. First of all, let's rewind to this operation of switching the basis vector. So let's for example switch it from walking on this axis to walking on this axis. How do we do it? Well, we'd probably first move the blue arrow right here, then the green one right here, and the red one right here. Now, this may seem like an extremely intuitive operation in which we just move things in free space, but this is actually matrix transformation. Here's the vector, here's the matrix. This is how we transform it. That's really how this works. I'd really recommend rewinding this chapter and think, what the fuck is this mess? I'd really recommend rewinding this chapter and think for yourself how the what did I script? I'd really recommend this chapter and think for yourself how the math to make it happen much as I really tried forcing in that make it happen in there. You can tell. I'd really recommend rewinding this chapter and think for yourself how the math to make it happen matches exactly the standard definition for a matrix, because this is a matrix. But then there is another thing, because this right here is just a scalar multiplied by a vector operated on by a matrix. But there is no vector or matrix specified, or more importantly, there is no size specified. So this generalized approach will work in the 1-dimensional case, 2-dimensional case, 3-dimensional case, 4-dimensional case, and so on. That's what 4-dimensional physics would really be. Just this, but with 4 numbers. And the reason for why I include this elaborate setup is to show you how once you do all of that work to generalize physics to 3 dimensions, you can use that for any number you want. Because there is a simpler example which would be just as valid. Why? Because it doesn't make any sense. And there is an even simpler example which would be just as valid. Take a dot, add a velocity of 5 meters per second, there. This dot has combined velocity of 5 meters per second. Now turn it into a circle with an additional velocity of 4 meters per second. What would be its new velocity? Using the Pythagorean theorem, you can show that the new summed velocity will have the magnitude of 5 squared plus 4 squared square root meters per second. But what about the 3-dimensional ball, with an additional velocity of 3 meters per second in the 3rd dimension? Well, extending the Pythagorean theorem, we get 5 squared plus 4 squared plus 3 squared square root. But what about 4 dimensions? For 4 dimensions, I can't really visualize it all that well. For 1, 2 I use Manim, for 3D I use Blender, but that's only because in each case we're going with a lower dimension than a 2D screen, from a 2D dimensions to a 2D screen, or from a 3D dimension to a 2D screen, but our entire optical system of our but our entire optical system in our brain developed to perceive the world this way, so displaying 4D on a 2D screen with a brain that wants to see 3D to 2D might be a bit challenging, and that's precisely why we don't need to display it. We can just calculate it. How? Well, adding the fourth dimension into our equation. There. Finished. Now we can get the magnitude of our velocity along this 4-axis. Now we can get the magnitude of our velocity along this 4-axis in any dimension. 2 dimensions, 3, 4, 5, 7, 872, it doesn't matter, for all of them it's the same thing. Which brings us to the question of, what are vectors? Okay, most of this will be garbage audio, I've messed up a lot. These scripting mistakes are the exact reason why I freestyle all my videos. I kind of love me follow script. I used to do that too, but then I realized how much time you can save by having a script. Basically, I can... well, right here I record the whole video before doing animations, but usually the way I make videos is I make animations at the same time as I script it and record it, and the script just makes it coherent. Like, I don't need to wonder what the animation was supposed to be leading to, I can just make the animation, then, you know, have everything ready. My old videos I had to remake a lot of stuff, just because I didn't think ahead. I do prefer making practical videos though, practical videos are way more fun to make. But from what I've seen, most people don't like practical videos on my channel. I don't do them right, apparently. I've made a bucket of sulfuric acid, no one cares. Y'all just wanna see me drink it. And honestly, I can't blame you for it. I respect it. What are vectors? I believe I answered that question already, but I should still clarify it a bit, because the answer to what are vectors might not be as simple as you think, and for reasons you think, and might not be as simple as you think, and for reasons that you think. And that's because when it comes to vectors, there are actually 3 ways you can think about them. The physical way, the mathematical way, and the computational way. Most people get introduced to vectors with a physical way, which is a problem because physical way is really intuitive, but in the wrong way. Physical way means the arrow, so for example... Physical way means the arrow, so for example, if you have a ball going 1 meter per second in this direction, and 2 meters per second in this direction, now... I'm having trouble visualizing the animation for this. Might not be as simple as you think. Physical way is really intuitive. Physical. Where's the animation for this gonna be? How about this time? I made a bucket load of sulfuric acid. Of acidic salt? Bucket load of acidic salt. Wait, what? Also, bucket load. That, I mean, that's a pun, which I like. And right here's dramatic switching music, if I remember correctly, to guitar EDM. There we go. Ah, this play is such a mess. Okay. I mean, for the energy video, I sat here for 6 hours listening to the same, I think 11 songs on repeat. I haven't memorized. They play in my dreams. Yeah, physical way means the arrows. For example, if you have a ball going 1 per second in this direction and 2 meters per second in this direction. Now, this is convenient. Okay, I get it. I got it now. I understand. Physical way means the arrow. So, for example, if you have a ball going 1 meter per second in this direction and 2 meters per second in this direction. Now, this is convenient because if we want to find out what it will be after a second, we just take these arrows and add them together. There. That's where a ball will be after a second. There, that's where a ball will be after a second. But where would it be after 2 seconds? Well, we just take our arrow and add another one. 3 seconds, add a third one, and so on. You can certainly see why this would be useful. But now let's jump to the opposite side of the spectrum, to the computational way to think about vectors, which is this. Just numbers. Now, what these numbers represent? Irrelevant. It doesn't matter. All you do is just operate on them. So when a computer receives 10 numbers like these, and it has to subtract 10 from each of them, So when the computer receives 10 numbers like these and has to subtract 10 from each of them, it has no idea whether it's a video game where each player's half got I sound drunk, what's wrong with me? So when the computer receives 10 numbers like these and has to subtract 10 from each of them, it has no idea whether it's a video game where each player's health got damaged, an index of fruit in a supermarket with their shelf life, or some other hyper-specific number for which it just has to subtract 10. Computers have no idea, and because of that, we don't really care what the number does, what it's for even, or how many are there. That's why, even though doing physics in 7 dimensions might seem like a daunting task, for a computer, it doesn't matter. We just tell it to take all the numbers, square them, sum them, square root. That's it. And that way we can calculate the velocity of an object in 3 dimensions, 7 dimensions, or 20,000 dimensions. It doesn't matter. But then in the middle we have the math way to think about vectors, which just links them together. We have the matrix, which saw the way arrows behave, and then using that became a generalized method for matrices in higher dimensions. So basically we saw how we could rotate a cube like this. How could we rotate a cube like this? Well, we can describe all of its points with vectors, and then break them down into basis vectors. Multiplied... What's wrong with me today? Well, we can describe all of its points with vectors, and then break them down into basis vectors multiplied, and then move these basis vectors around. There, our matrices again. Now we can take that method, describe it purely mathematically, and we no longer need the graphical arrows. Now we can take it to 9 dimensions to create a 9-dimensional vector and a 9-dimensional matrix and repeat the process. That's vectors. So when you hear someone say, I just did something in 9 dimensions, I want you to remember that you can just take on any... I want you to remember that you can just take a task, do it in 2 dimensions with arrows for example, generalize, and there, 9th dimension. Which would actually bring us to an interesting question. When we do physics in our universe, are we doing it in 3 dimensions or 4? Okay, I've picked an awful live stream to record all of these, honestly. On the flip side, actually, I like these practical videos more. But YouTube statistics would beg to differ. Hold on, let me show you. Theoretical, practical. Theoretical, practical, there we go. I know that there's also a number difference, but it doesn't really matter, it's just the most recent videos. I've really picked an awful day to record. Something's wrong with me. More coffee? Yeah, that'll help. Make more practical videos, I like him. Oh, don't worry. I spent $100 on a practical video today. Don't worry, I'll keep making them. As I mentioned, I like making them. It's really fun. I can parallelize my walk even more. I can render animations, I can have either reaction or whatever going on in the background, and I can then walk on another video. All at the same time. So practical videos are they're also convenient. They're expensive though, they really are. As I mentioned, $100 today on one of them. It's fun. And that video that I spent $100 on should be out in 2 weeks, I think. I'm just starting to work on it. Man doesn't need an enemy, he's his own enemy. Listen, all I want, okay, all I want is to play Uno with Markiplier on a chariot checkup. Is that really that much to ask? But that's not free. I'm a nobody. I need to be someone. For Markiplier to actually accept my invite. And that motivation. Oh, okay, that and also having my own Wikipedia page. That's true, but that's a separate thing. Damn. Yeah, you can't blame me for it, can you? Like, that's a noble goal, I would say. I was not expecting you to still be happy, not gonna lie. This is not the most entertaining of the live streams done. Oh boy, how far are we? 8 out of 11. Good, that's good, it's good, it's great, sweet, we're close. We're like, what, 4 pages? 8, 9, 10, 11? That's 4 pages, good. More than halfway there. There's actually one thing, stuff I really also do want to make a fit. It's so annoying. I have so many great video ideas when it comes to practical videos, which I just have to throw out the window because the reactions in these videos or the products of these videos will be illegal. Why is it so easy to make illegal stuff? Like, it's so much easier to make meth than caffeine. It's an unjust universe. Because you give a coffee, maybe it can help. We know that's a swell idea. Okay. Why is time a dimension? Splendid question. Why is time a dimension? Well, it feels odd, doesn't it, to call space-time 4-dimensional, but it actually makes a lot of sense. If we imagine a ball like this, in this case this 3-dimensional space I have here is really convenient, because the ball is also a 3-dimensional object, so if we wanted to specify its position we'd need 3 numbers, because 3 dimensions. So if we take this axis and use it to represent the first number, the more forward we are on the axis, the higher the number, the more backwards the lower, then this axis represents the second number. Once again, same thing. And for this, and this for the third one. Now we can take the ball and we can see that its position is representing its position, which may seem dumb and obvious, and that because, well, it is, but I want you to really appreciate just how obvious it is, because it will be important to understand why time is dimension. Now let's take our example and reduce it to 2 dimensions. So now our ball can only move on one plane, up. So now our ball can only move on a plane, up and down, left and right. There's no third dimension, or at least there's no spatial third dimension, because in our example we'll also have time. Which means that our ball can move on this axis, which means that our ball can move on this axis, and will have its own animation, which will go on for 5 seconds. There, that's the animation. Now, this is cool and all, but what if we wanted to visualize the entire animation all at once? Well, what we could do then is we could take the position of the ball in the first second and move it down. Position of the ball in the second second and move it up. Third second, even higher, fourth second and fifth second. Now what we're doing here is we're taking the first dimension, turning it into a number, like a 3 in this case, and then using it to first space, and then representing it with a first spatial dimension. Then we take the second one, turn it into a number, and use the second spatial dimension to represent it. Then we take time, turn it into a number, and use the third spatial dimension to represent it. That's why time is a dimension, is because whether you have a function dealing with position of an object or... That's why time is dimension, is because when you have a function dealing with position of an object, you really often have to specify not only where it is, but also when it is. And right here you can see that these coordinates when plugged into a function are just numbers. That's it. That's why space-time is 4-dimensional. It's because if you want to describe the position of this ball, you really have to specify how far to the right it is, how far forward it is, how far up it is, and how far into the future it is. But all of those can be just specified with a single number, or in other words, represented with a single 4-dimensional vector. These don't make much sense without the animations. They really don't. I depend on Blender at this point. Oh, we're actually so close to the end. In theory, it says like 20 minutes. In practice, most of this is garbage out audio, so this is like 11 minutes tops. I can remember time can affect physical space. It's a whole thing, but don't worry, we'll soon do a whole stream just to research relativity. Some more. And over there you have the whole space-time business. I'm still fascinated with the concept of gravitational mass. I just like it. Inertial mass and gravitational mass, I really do. And I'm assuming they will have to, there will be some kind of difference between them. Although they do have the, what's it called, equality? EQ something. Equivalence? I think equivalence. Which is curious, isn't it? The fact that we would divide mass into inertial mass and gravitational mass, even though they're equivalent. It's kind of curious. I'm curious to see if there is actually any reason for dividing them into inertial and gravitational, or if it's just like a concept to simplify it. Okay. This is a shame because I can't rely on Alex with this one. I have actually no one when it comes to relativity. I have no expert who will actually know relativity. With most of typical quantum mechanics, that was simple enough. And that's because quantum mechanics is just basically really specific and really delicate physics. That's all this. It's just physics, except very cautious physics. It's basically physics done by people who hate error. But when it comes to relativity, it's just different. It's changing stuff. 3, 2, 1. Okay, but then if they all can be represented with a number, then why is time clearly different? These are spatial, this is temporal. So why is time different? Well, there are a lot of reasons. The main one being that time behaves differently in most of our models. So if you have an object going forward, you can't really distinguish on which axis it's going. Is it X? Is it Y? Is it Z? Is it W? No idea. But what you can distinguish is the time axis, which will always be T, no matter what. So these three are interchangeable. This one is unique. And there, now you should understand almost everything when it comes to dimensions in physics. But there is still one last thing left to do, the cleanup and revision chapter. And right here we'll cut before I say the thing. That's the last one. Flame might know some stuff, not about relativity. In comes to relativity, Alex would be the closest. But I think I remember Alex saying specifically that he never actually... I don't remember when I was like planning the advanced physics video, advanced mechanics video, then Alex said that I think he wasn't strong with relativity and that he would never go for string theory, or he never went for string theory. But flame is completely different area. Whilst yeah, chemistry overlaps with physics a bunch, and I kind of made a whole video just, you know, with a sub point being that chemistry and physics are way more similar than people think and are kind of the same thing. That's more about like the classical kind of physics. Boy, it sounds so pretentious, doesn't it? I feel awful when it comes to researching this sort of stuff because you got a lot of these pretentious words, just so many of them. Quantum mechanics. That's... It's an awful name. Not because of the name itself, only because of what it stands for. It's basically... When people hear quantum mechanics, they think of something incredibly grand and impressive, something you need to be brilliant to actually understand anything. No, it's simple stuff. It's just quantum because it's quantized. Quantum isn't even because it's tiny, it's because quantized. That's where it comes from. Tiny is just like it's just where it's used. That's it. So we are going blind. Hell yeah, we're going in blind. To be fair, my electrical research I did blindly. The beginning of my chemical research I did blindly. That's actually how I met Flame. Hey, maybe I'll meet someone who knows relativity. Yeah, I don't know. Which will be more important than you think. Which will be more important than you think. First, let's start some common misconceptions, which right now should make a lot more sense. So, fourth dimension isn't real. In reality, it would be just one of the four, and even though it may seem like a pedantic thing to mention, it is important because when people hear fourth dimension, they think of something which looks like this. But in reality, no. In reality, our universe really has four spatial dimensions. No, in reality, if our universe really has four spatial dimensions, then there will be no difference between any of them. So if we have coordinates x, y, z, w for our dimensions, we really often think of x as left, y as forwards, backwards, z as up and down, and w being funky, but that's not quite the case. Think of x as left, right. In reality, they are interchangeable, so x could be up and down, w could be left and right, z could be forwards, backwards, and y could be funky. So there is no fourth dimension, there's just one of the four. We just say fourth dimension because it's more convenient to say. Which brings us to the next thing. What if fourth dimension exists, but it's flat? You can imagine this easily with an analogy. Imagine a 3D space on which everything is flat. And here I mean perfectly mathematically flat, so not one molecule thick each. Each molecule has a height of 0. So if everything is flat, then is this really three-dimensional? Well, yes and no. Remember our two sides of the spectrum? Right here we would say no. Right here we would say yes. Because from a physical perspective, there is no way to move along the third axis. What's the point of acknowledging it exists? From a computational perspective, however, this is just a three-dimensional vector in which the third dimension is always equal to 0. So, if the universe is flat, isn't even three-dimensional, is a question, my dearest math audience, you'll have to answer for yourself. Which brings us to... does our universe really have only 3 spatial dimensions? Well, the answer seems to be yes. Very much yes. You see, dimensions have this cool property where they cannot really be easily faked. Here I've set up a scene in Blender and a flat sheet. Now, because of some really cool advanced Blender magic for which you should subscribe on YouTube and Patreon, I can move the camera up and only render things on the single sheet. And as you can see, as long as I'm moving in the 2 dimensions, everything is fine. But when I start moving in the 3rd dimension... no, it doesn't work. And as you can see, as long as I'm moving in 2 dimensions, everything is fine. Until we start moving in the 3rd dimension. So if I move this sphere up right here in 2 dimensions, it will just appear out of nowhere, increase in scale, and then shrink into nothingness. So this... well, you can't really fake down 2 dimensions. The same way if we move the 4th dimensional sphere through a 3-dimensional space, then it would look something like this. And here's where the key part comes in, because when it comes to answering questions of how many spatial dimensions does our universe have, and here's where the key part comes in, because when it comes to answering question of how many spatial dimensions does our... and here's where the key part comes in, because when it comes to answering the question of how many spatial dimensions does our universe have, this have, should be have, right? No, has, past tense. Past tense, am I? Who am I? Where am I? Coffee? Gladly. And here's where the key part comes in, because when it comes to answering the question of how many spatial dimensions does our universe has, no, half, right? I'm going mad. This Caesar while speaking is so relatable. Give me a second, I'm thinking. And here's where the key part comes in, because when it comes to answering the question of how many spatial dimensions does our universe have, the answer really seems to be 3. That's because we haven't seen any anomalies like this. Now, there is also a possibility that everything is just flat in the 4th dimension, we can't really accelerate anything into it, but same difference. We might as well be talking about particles which interact with nothing and question if they are real. As far as physics is concerned, if it technically exists, but there is no way for us to interact with it in any way, it's not really real. So TLDR would be, we haven't detected any anomalies, so there is no evidence to support the claim that it exists. And so there, it's been quite a journey, a temporal one and a spatial one, a journey with vectors, matrices, physics, forces, but most importantly, if you count the time as part of physics, then you can create a vector describing how long each chapter of this video was, and if you do that, then congrats, you just did physics in 7 dimensions. Mic drop, boom, explosion and fire and lasers and the special effects and 3D animation of a tiger dancing on my grave. Done! Well, far from it actually. The animation is at least finished, it's nice. We're gonna have to up the sample size because this is on the edge of being not visible. No, we need to save it, it's already saved. Let's do physics in 7. Make it eat something I already ate. Although I wouldn't mind super water, let me just... stale water. Nothing beats that. Haha. How long is this room going for? Hour? Already? That makes sense. Just take a snack. I don't have snacks. Well, I do. Never mind, that was a lie. I do have snacks. Do I? I think I ate them actually. Frozen pizza was on sale. And frozen veggies, but those would take too long to cook. I'm not making those. There is streaming to be done! How long has it been since last time I went on a rant about how frozen veggies are the best thing since sliced bread? Like, no, it's not, they're not the best thing since sliced bread. Sliced bread is the best thing since frozen veggies. Cooking stream, I don't have a setup for that. Now we can do a meth cooking stream. I wonder how much of the recipe can I share on... Well, no, because I can't make it, can I? That's like evidence of a crime. Publicly available. There are so many fun things I could build, but... Where am I? What am I doing? I blacked out for a second. Oh yeah, this animation. That's right. Well, when you have a cube like... Okay. This... Copy... Freeze frame. Scrap science day thing. What? I am sorry. What did you just say? This Scrap... I know that Scrap was asking the audience... Wait, Scrap science? I wasn't there? Oh, did I miss it? No. There is no stream. There is no live tab. Suspicious. I mean, I know that Scrap was asking his audience about this. Oh, look at that. That's professional. That right there is professional, not like what I do. Like, speaking of stuff I do, I really like Scrub. Scrub is great. And also walking on the video, which is just absolutely outstanding. I'm in the habit of rushing videos, so my respect for someone who actually sticks through the tough time to actually make the video perfect, I really respect that. How would we quantify force? Well, when you have a cube like this with a mass of 1 kilogram and it's going... When you have a cube like this with a mass of 1... Wait, no, 1 to 18, correct? Something is off. When I import these, the frames don't match. Well, when you have a cube like this with a mass of 1 kilogram and it's going... Well, if they don't match, then no point in counting it. Might as well just wing it. Make it style. 200. Alright, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna parent this cube to this one. And then right here, I down, then U going from 0 to 1 because 1 kilogram, and right here just for good measure, actually no, never mind, they're all pretty random, that's good. And then this red one going from 0 to 2, 10 times higher. Oh, look at those reflections. Oh, I'm such a professional. I want to capture more of them. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. You can't really see the thing it's pressing on, which is, well, shucks. I was kind of hoping it would be visible. Apparently it's not. Well, I can make it visible, pun intended, once again, as always. I can make it visible. Selecting this, selecting this, selecting this, selecting this, and then giving it a material of its own. Mission equal to 1, or mission equal to 5 to really blast it. No, I'm not gonna make it visible. That's to make it. You're an idiot. I am an idiot. Damn it, that's wrong. What I actually would need is a light, a spotlight going up, going down, going all the way around, going this way, going that way. The dot, there we go. And then just add some zeros to it. 2 more for good measure. That's 9. That's 0. There we go. This sort of spotlight, except there and from the side. I sometimes forget just how amazing I am. I need someone to remind me of just how amazing I am, because I tend to forget. Let's switch this to a 3. Let's switch this to a 3. Okay, okay. I would say a bit further back. We will have to redo the animation from 0 to 85. In order to redo it from 0 to 85, we have to clear parent right here. And then these, that's where they'll have to end up. And then 0. Yep. There we go. I'm not sure about the YouTuber had to stop at a certain step. Cryptic messages down. You started through. That sounds like a threat. You're great and a passionate person, make us stay determined. Hell yeah, I am. Thank you. I will. Well, it's not really determination. It's more like desperation. That's my preferred word. But you know what? You're great. You all have no idea how much power desperation can really bring. It's outstanding, it's like superpowers. You don't need to do meth. What should I do now? I'm waiting for this to render. We can't replay the finals because, well, this is rendering in the background. We could play Oxygen Not Included. There is one thing I really want to do with Oxygen Not Included, but I don't know if I should start it when being this tired. At a certain point, light gets blurry. That is true. That is true. I could end the live stream, but that would be just an hour and a half of a stream. That's not a long live stream at all. $20, $20 precisely. We did do a lot of work today. Well, mostly off stream, unfortunately, but a fair bit. I have the whole video recorded, which means next walking stream we'll be able to just edit it all. Would be nice. Well, yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I think that's it. You gotta quit when you're behind. Also, the lack of sleep is getting to me ever so slightly, and I don't know, maybe I'm blinking like 4 times as often as normally. I also got a fair bit of cyanide in my eyes, unrelated, well, semi-related, long story. And also, there is a solid bit of chemicals which aren't great for the eyes, so it could be any of these things. The point is, my eyes feel... Well, have any of you ever been stabbed? Or actually, no, stabbed is wrong way. Have any of you ever poured hot sauce into your own eyes? That's kind of what cyanide feels like. Anyhow, I'm gonna go for now, because I'm tired. And... Can you stay for a little bit? Oh, well, ask so nicely. Fine. I'll stay. Okay, bye. Yeah, just ask me to stay. I'm fine with staying if you want to. I'm just really tired, so it's getting more and more difficult for me to be entertaining in any way. I'm thinking, what can I play now? We have to go for a game. We can't. I don't have this. I don't have it in me to keep working on this video. I won't force you if you're tired. Of course you won't force me, but it's my own option, my own choice. Meanwhile, I'm working my game. Oh, that's great! Now we have 2 disordered people working their games. Music. Right. Last stream is getting a bit dry. There we go. There, that should fix it. Make it, everyone's a slave to something, you're a slave to their morals. Everyone's a slave to their morals. What I'm saying is that. That's kind of like saying, make it your brain is thinking. Everyone's brain is thinking. I'm having trouble finding words to express just how mild of a sentence that is. Everyone's a slave to their morals. That's why we do things. Because we consider them right. What would be more terrifying is if someone wasn't a slave to their morals. Because if someone wasn't a slave to their morals, that would mean they would have no morals. They have no morals, that means they don't really have any, like, defined goals or anything. They don't have, well, they might have a goal, but, well, actually, I don't know. Would someone without morals have a goal? Because their goal is what they would perceive to be right. I'm generalizing. So, let's go for a generalization. If someone was without morals, they wouldn't have a goal. And if someone was without a goal, they would truly have no purpose in life. And if someone had no purpose in life, then that's really bad. I feel bad for them. We all do things because we consider them to be right or fun, or, well, right through them being fun. And I'm with it. If someone tells me to stream for 60 hours, I'm just gonna tell them to hold my beer, because I don't drink alcohol, so, you know, I don't want to hold it. It's kind of awkward for me to hold, so I don't really drink. Anyhow, well then, if you tell me I should go, fine, I'll go. Anyhow, that will be it for this very chaotic walking live stream. Tomorrow we will probably do oxygen not included instead of working in this video, because I just feel like it's been a while since we did a long live stream, and it's really easy for me to stream long live streams and playing oxygen not included. Anyway, for now, that'll be it. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.